What if our history is far older and more mysterious than we imagine? Imagine ancient civilizations with advanced knowledge of the cosmos, mathematics, and the Earth. They built monuments of impossible scale, navigated the globe, and left behind clues scattered across the world. Myths from every culture whisper of a forgotten chapter, a time when human potential was vast, then suddenly lost. Evidence of this epoch is carved in megalithic stones, encoded in sacred geometries, and preserved in flood myths found everywhere. These are not just stories, but fragmented memories of a real cataclysm that wiped the slate clean. We are explorers with only a torn map, told to believe in a small, recent history. Yet, the monuments and myths refuse to fit this narrative. They point to something more, an ancient world that defies our timelines. They invite us to question the official story and search for our lost inheritance. The horizon of our past is wider than we've been taught. Across the world, ancient cultures tell the same story, a golden age when gods or sages shared wisdom with humanity. Egyptians called it Zep Tepi. Indians spoke of yugas and vimanas. Sumerians wrote of the Apkallu, and the Maya remembered previous suns. These stories are not isolated. They form a global pattern. Why would so many cultures invent the same myth? Perhaps they didn't. Perhaps they preserved a shared memory of a lost, advanced civilization destroyed in a cataclysm. The whispers of this age urge us to piece together the fragments. Our true story may be far more epic than we realize. Antique maps hint at a lost chapter in human history. The Piri Reis map of 1513 shows an ice-free Antarctica, a feat impossible for known civilizations. Other maps, like Orontius Phineus and Mercator, depict similar anomalies and claim to be based on ancient sources. Who created these source maps? They suggest a seafaring people with global reach in prehistory. Star charts like Egypt's Dendera Zodiac and the high-altitude ruins of Tiwanaku point to lost sciences and shifting landscapes. These artifacts don't fit the conventional timeline. They're fingerprints of a ghost civilization. They hint at knowledge of longitude and global geography long before our own. These clues are not proof, but they are powerful signposts. They point toward a vanished world waiting to be rediscovered. The past is more mysterious than we think. The Great Flood myth is universal, from Gilgamesh to Noah Manu to Deucalion. All tell of a divine warning, a vessel, and a handful of survivors after a world-ending deluge. These stories are nearly identical across continents. Modern geology confirms that at the end of the last ice age, catastrophic floods and sea level rise swept the globe. For any advanced coastal civilization, this would have meant total annihilation. The flood myths may be eyewitness accounts of a real global disaster. They mark the boundary between our world and a world before. Ancient monuments are aligned with the stars in ways that baffle modern understanding. The Great Pyramid's shafts point to specific stars as they appeared thousands of years ago. Angkor Wat's layout mirrors the constellation Draco as it looked in 10,500 BC, long before the temple was built. The Sphinx faces the rising sun in Leo on the spring equinox of 10,500 BC, suggesting it marks that date. Why would later civilizations build monuments aligned to skies from a distant past? Perhaps they inherited a master plan from a forgotten civilization that witnessed those skies. These alignments point to a moment of cataclysm and origin, the end of the Ice Age. Our ancestors used the stars to memorialize a lost era. The monuments are messages in stone, pointing to a sky that no longer exists. They urge us to reconsider the true age of civilization. History teaches us that technology evolves, but ancient monuments tell a different story. The oldest works, like the Great Pyramid and Peru's megaliths, are the most advanced and precise. Later imitations are cruder, as if the original builders vanished and their descendants could only copy. This pattern challenges the idea of linear progress. The logical explanation, a lost civilization with advanced knowledge built these wonders. Later cultures inherited and revered them, struggling to replicate their brilliance. The earliest writing and astronomy are the most complex. Later forms are simplified. Civilization was not born with the Egyptians or Sumerians. It was restarted by them. The greatest monuments are relics of a forgotten golden age. Our story may begin with a loss, not a beginning. For our ancestors, the edge of the world was a mystical threshold, a place of danger and revelation. Ancient maps mark these boundaries with warnings and monsters, but also as gateways to higher knowledge. Plato's Atlantis lay beyond the Pillars of Hercules, a source of wisdom and destruction. Myths from Ireland to Norse lands echo this idea. The edge is where one finds both peril and enlightenment. The journey to the world's end was a spiritual quest, not just a physical one. The edge represented the limits of perception, a portal to deeper reality. Crossing the horizon meant accessing hidden truths. The lost horizon is as much within as it is without. Atlantis, described by Plato, was a mighty advanced civilization destroyed in a single day and night. Its date, around 9600 BC, matches the end of the last ice age and global flooding. Other lost lands like Lemuria and Mu appear in myths and esoteric writings worldwide. Sea levels rose 400 feet, drowning over 10 million square miles of land. Any coastal civilizations would now be underwater. These stories may be fragmented memories of real, drowned worlds. The search for them continues beneath the waves. The message from the ancients is both a warning and an invitation. The warning: civilizations that lose wisdom and respect for nature are doomed to fall. The invitation: the clues in stone, myth, and starlight are a map to our lost heritage. The lost horizon is hidden, not gone, buried in oceans, myths, and our own consciousness. The search is not for treasure, but for knowledge of who we truly are. Rediscovery demands courage to question everything and see the patterns others miss. Every ancient site and myth is a piece of the puzzle. The journey is long, but in seeking, we may rediscover ourselves. The search for our true story has only just begun.